That was so much stuff. Like, the talisman stuff is so weird in my opinion, but like, it's whatever, I guess. Honestly, compared to the other stuff they're doing, it doesn't matter. That was very, very out of touch a bit, in my opinion.
No. You gotta understand, Ziz. We're the ones that are out of touch. He was talking about like the the normal players.
Oh,
The not out
okay.
of touch streamers. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're out of touch. Remember? Don't
That
forget.
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. Here's Steel.
Yeah.
Mod check? Oh, that's so good, dude. Very different from the Blizzard Q&As and stuff.
I don't watch those. So.
They're all like, pre-prepared and stuff because they want to make sure they have all the answers, which makes sense. I mean, there's pros and cons to both. Oh, that was so much. That was like pretty much everything. Oh my god, dude. Combined with like the passives. Oh. So much.
Man.
I'm very pumped.
Yeah, it's a bigger league than I thought it would be.
So
usually they don't do back-to-back leagues like that.
Yeah. For sure. So how keen are you on Hardcore Revival?
Right. God, every league they make is like so good for SSF though. Like,
I know. Like,
to be fair though, the league mechanic actually does work well in trade.
Yeah.
Because you need like a certain thing to get a certain thing, right? Like, imagine you got double or nothing on a mirror.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get that in SSF. It's not happening.
True.
So.
I don't know. Like, I do like the idea of Hardcore Revival and all going back to Hardcore. I do like the idea of Hardcore Revival when you live somewhere close so I can actually fucking play with you.
Yeah, right.
Because if not, it's going to be kinda SSF with just trading.
Yeah.
That was so many cool things.
I want to go back. I mean, so they mentioned they were buffing things like Blight and all that kind of stuff. I wonder exactly. Well, I guess, was it just the quantity? Is that what that was?
I don't remember about.
And technically this is worded funny actually. Now that I think about it, they said they're gonna make league content drop the league thing, right? Does that mean we're gonna see less rewards in a way?
Maybe.
Like, think about it, like the breach chests or the abyss chests or the etc chests in every in Blight, for example. Does that mean they're gonna be like super nerfed?
I don't know. I mean, probably, yeah. Probably nerf while white.
Yeah.
But it's not like he said it was like gonna be like all of it. It's not like 110 quant is gonna give the boxes 110 quant. It did say a portion.
Yeah, true.
And it might just be a buff. It sounded like it was just a buff because he said something. I can't remember the line verbatim, but he said something like, "We already did the nerfs we needed last league."
I think that was regarding one thing. I think it was regarding Blight, right? Not necessarily like Legion, for example.
Sure, but I was talking about Blight.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they would have lowered the drop rates on white maps. White maps it'll probably be a pretty big increase in loot in Blight. That's already very spammy with loot though.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, it's good. I mean, yeah. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. They definitely didn't want to say the word nerf though, so we'll have to. They use the term rebalance, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's so much exciting stuff though. I don't even know where to start. Can you explain Hardcore Revival? Steelmage wants to have a bunch of streamers come back to Trade League and start playing Trade League at launch.
Yeah, because so there's been a lot of like solo self-found events lately. I don't know who's been running them, but they're pretty popular and they drag a lot of players to SSF. So it's kind of had I would say it's actually had a noticeable impact on trade. Like I don't know, maybe that's a bit ego. Maybe that's my ego. I don't know.
I don't think it's just that either. I think it's also like, I mean, I think obviously, like, events are going to have some impact. Like, how big or how small, I genuinely don't know. But a big part of it is also drops have been kind of less exciting in Trade League, right? Like, Impulse, Shavs, and Quem's Heart, and items that used to be very expensive, even on Trade League, are pretty cheap. Whereas they are still exciting on SSF. I'd say that is a very big part of the reason as well.
Yeah, I mean SSF's great. But I was thinking, at least one time, you know, it'd be nice. I mean, trade used to be such a big deal for us. Remember this? Like, it used to be like, you know, we had moments, you know, group play, you know, the econ team, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's kind of where it started to derail a bit, but you know, before that as well, you know,
So that is where I started to derail, like Belton and Havoc and all that stuff, and yeah.
But we've played a lot of trade. But for me at least, maybe I'm just a little bit further ahead because I've been like maining SSF so hard for so long. But I do miss trade. And,
I miss trade too, but more importantly, I miss having a good reason to play trade. Which is sounds like they're like changing some of. The only thing they said they were rebalancing both the Ziri and Uber Ziri loot, but I didn't hear much about other buses. Like the only thing missing for me was them saying they're gonna rebalance the Maven loot.
Is Maven loot bad on hardcore trade though? It's bad. I know it's.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Maven Orbs like...
Maven Orbs are great. Maven Orbs aren't the problem, but look at the Maven loot compared to Awakener there. Every single piece Awakener drops, everything he drops is good. The helmet's not worth a lot, but it's still a great item. There's like one belt that's so usable, and it's very like, oh, I need to fit it in. The helmet's okay.
I like the helmet actually. Oh,
but really, Ice Trap needs some like, you know, you gotta.
I gotta shuffle.
We're live talking.
Hey guys, Tucker here, and today we're joined by Rory to talk everything to do with PoE 2 and apparently every single league under the sun getting a buff. So Rory, if you just introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm lead designer on Path of Exile for Grinding Gear Games, and I work with all the designers and work with Chris and Mark and Eric, and the leads on almost all the content that we make for the game. So, yeah.
How does it feel to finally have that like trailer out there? I'm sure you were kind of a bit for a while.
Yes, it's petrifying. I mean, you know, 2 months ago, it's sort of how can we make the best possible league? What's the best, most elegant, concentrated design? And now, in the past few hours, it's like I just hope everyone likes me. Just what can I do to make everyone like me? So it's good having it out there now and can breathe. But yeah.
Well.
All right. Well, what I think we should do, just to do a quick like round table. If we just do our like PoE 2 thoughts, then we'll after do Ultimatum thoughts, and then we'll just harass Rory for like 3 hours. Nuggy, what was your reaction to the PoE 2 stuff?
It looks amazing. Permanent health bars and really cool new weapons. I think that was like my initial reaction. I mean, I can go on.
Yeah, you can. You can.
I don't know. This everything looks cool. The fighting looks cool. I don't know. We had some new monsters running around doing stuff. So yeah. I mean, if we can get that kind of combat, that would be really exciting to get a little bit more than just click the screen and everything dies, and have some like interactive combat. But you know, endgame does what endgame does. We'll see.
What about you, Octavian?
I'm really glad to see new weapon types and to see a push towards a distinction between weapon types. What Chris said in the Q&A later about, you know, claws being able to be used as a pseudo unarmed setup now. You know, more stuff in that direction would be great. Personally, I want to see more like gladiatorial weapon types, but that's just me. I want to see like people throwing weighted nets and having like big old javelin-esque spears. And we've got the spears already, but you know, like a trident or something. But that's getting into some specifics that maybe we need to talk about the broader stuff. I'm also really
builds. Come on.
Dual shield builds. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes, that would be fantastic. Bladed shields. There's a lot. There's a lot of room to explore. I mean, I spent like hours and hours and hours as a kid just pouring through D&D manuals, looking at pictures and drawings of weapons and stuff. So that this is something I can geek out about for a very long time, but it's probably not the main thrust of the podcast. That said, I'm really glad to see more identity with skills and tied to weapons.
Right?
It's a great way to balance the game too. I think overall it's very specific as opposed to like the bow patch that we had now a while ago. I think this is much better in terms of addressing things. And then when it comes to Ultimatum, all I could think of overall was how I am really looking forward to be playing SSF and seeing an item that I could potentially maybe use one time in 2 months on a character that I'm kind of thinking about making, and then dying on it on one that I absolutely do not ever will need that item. That's going to be great. It's a very much a nice thing to do. And I really appreciate that, by the way, Taki. Typically, I'm the first one to get called out, but this time around, Noogie got put on the spot.
I just like to keep people a bit,
Yeah, on the edge.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
uneasy.
I like that.
That's what I'm going for. Yeah, uncomfortable at best. What about you, Ziggy?
I'm super excited about spears and crossbows and like more weapon distinction. I hope we do see more like unique skills for the different weapons. A quick question for Rory: are the spears one-handed, two-handed, or a combination?
They're one-handed, but you can't dual wield while using the spear. So there'll be advantages for having your offhand empty, and there'll be advantages for having, well, obviously advantages for having a shield. So the offensive playstyle is to have your offhand empty while using a spear.
Ah, wow. Okay, so like one-handers that can function as a pseudo two-hander, or you can rock a shield.
Pretty sure we did something like an inherent character bonus, similar to when you're dual wielding while you've got your offhand empty with the spear. But I cannot remember what it was because it was ages ago we decided on it. I'm never sure if we got around to implementing it yet. Well, we only showed them with the shields this time.
That's a super interesting extra layer of detail. Another thing that I wanted to point out, I think people might have missed, was Act 2 showed the ability to pick different paths in the progression of the act. So you can take the caravan town to different areas. Now we've got like a little bit of that, like current Act 2, where you can like go to different sides, but it seems like they're doing a little bit more non-linear act progression. And I think I asked privately about that, and they said that there might be some sort of level scaling. Maybe Rory, you know about that? There might be like level scaling options so that if you like do things in a different sequence, they'll be able to set to your character level.
I think the area will be a bit different based on whether the enemy cart has already been through there or not, which affects the levels of the monsters and the difficulty there. So,
Okay, interesting stuff.
That's cool. To backtrack a tiny bit, would we ever get like versatile weapons? I know you've said a little bit like having bonuses, but I really do like the idea of like swapping from a one hand to then like double handing a sword to get that like extra beefy hit, kind of like stancing.
we've definitely talked a lot about improving this item swap system, like the second weapon set. That should be the thing that makes that sort of stuff feel a lot better. And once that is that system is a bit cleaner, then we can put more investment in actually making it. So you want to do that.
That's fine. For me, I think the main. Oh, go.
I was just gonna sort of. Go ahead, Niggy. You go ahead.
No, you go.
No, you go.
It's Steel's
Yeah,
turn.
so as I was saying, I think the main thing for me that I thought was really cool
They skipped right over your
was
Steel.
the dynamic animation swaps. How like I don't know if it's based on like the last skill you use, but it seemed like you would swap from like carrying the spear like a thrusting weapon to then like a throwing like a javelin and stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff's
doing
really
much more
interesting.
Natural animation stuff going on there. Same for like crossbow reloading. You reload in a different position based on what the last crossbow skill you used was, whether your crossbow's still up in the air.
I'm a piercing bolt. Incendiary bolt.
All right, Nikki, what was it you wanted to say?
Wait, I just got distracted by Siggy saying that because I just started thinking about the Dread movie. Because when he mentioned it on the bit, I was like, "Oh, that makes so much sense. That is so funny." Yeah, I recently watched it again.
We made sure we got dialogue recorded for every one of the judge crossbow bolts. So
Do you want to watch this entire thing? I don't know how long it's going to be.
When it comes to having voice lines stuff like that, I imagine obviously that's a little easier when you're bringing news voice.
I'm down
actors.
to
You don't
talk
have the worry
about
that maybe
yeah,
if suddenly wants to introduce
the
new sweet
news with you if you
skills,
want.
Yeah, should we just do another our own like impromptu podcast again?
well, in this particular
Yeah,
case,
if you
we
want, if you
recorded
want.
What do you want to?
crossbow bolts names.
I
just
think
in
you know
case
what I
we
wanna do.
do
I think I know what you want. Like, let's just do our own podcast
In a way, it's
where we
easier
can
for
actually
names.
speak.
Usually,
Chat's saying
for
yes
skill
as
development,
well.
naming the skills dies
Let's
a lot.
open up
So now at
here.
least we've
I
got
have all the
skills.
links here to all the videos.
That's the one.
Oh,
way
too
to
easy,
get
dude. Too
for
easy,
the
dude.
company
I'm
gets
just gonna link
involved in
them, and then you
naming.
can open all
This doesn't
4.
feel quite right.
That's a very
Oh.
quotable thing you just said, Rory.
People want to get Quinn on, but I mean, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think.
I mean, he's invited if he wants to.
Yeah.
He's very, very welcome.
I should. I wish I chroma keyed you like earlier, but
You haven't
just
chroma
didn't.
keyed me?
Like, you've just been this green box this entire time.
Oh
It's great.
no. Which video? 19-minute gameplay walkthrough of Act 2. Holy shit. That's sick.
Well, you kind of chroma keyed now a little bit.
I'm kind of chroma keyed. Just default green should work. I don't think we'll be able to have a background image for because we're gonna have the video up in the background. I think it'll be fine just having the video up and me and Steelmage talking. Okay, we can open the Path of Exile Ultimatum trailer video and then go to I think the bit we're both the most excited about, which is 1 minute and 3 second onwards, where they start talking about all the new things that's added. 8 new gems, and then
That's what I thought there would be.
Yeah.
Skill gem was.
The quadruple, the vendor piece. Wait, what's the? We can talk about each change, dude. Oh my god, let's start talking. Here, actually, I'm gonna move us a little bit so people can see the middle. Let's start talking about the Lord's Labyrinth changes. That's like that must be like the most heavily requested thing ever.
Dude, we can just. There's a Reddit thread. I don't know if you've seen it.
Really?
Oh, dude, it's spicy, mate.
Oh, is it?
Well, I haven't even looked at it yet.
Reddit must be happy though, right? Like I haven't looked at Reddit at all.
Yeah, I gotta like.
There's no
You
way
tried
Reddit
this?
is upset, right? Right?
I'm
Right?
just trying to I'm trying to post something to you on Discord. There we go. So that's the thread. So do you know the history behind this? Behind this thread? Do you know the history behind this thread?
Oh,
So that guy,
he's won
He's the
every
guy-
single gem forever.
this is the guy that causes all this drama about
Yeah.
winning lab all the time. So this guy had such an impact on lab that this is basically his patch, right? So I haven't read this thread yet though. I haven't read this.
There's a launch option to change garbage collection generations. It's 13 years long. Keeping this area cached for 13 years would be ideal, but the valid options are 1 or 2, but they aren't. Originally set it to 20, hoping it worked, and it did. It saved me 10 to 15 seconds on a full lever on the first time I tried it. You have to load zones off the disk and get them cached in memory, so you won't notice the load speed increase. But the second time will make it load much, much slower. I currently run the game with the launch option GC100. It could cause instability, as a warning. But to increase your load times for a competition like Lab, it's amazing. Oh my god. Wow. What a genius. What a salt you generated.
Yeah, basically people had accused him of cheating hardcore. And I mean, even this thread obviously isn't going to necessarily do anything about that. But
Wow.
it's funny.
Wow.
There you go, dude. There you go.
That is a good thing though they bring up. The jewels are no longer they drop from chests now.
Yeah, so you'll actually just be able to get them. They'll be
Yeah.
accessible. It won't just be
I like it.
Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic.
As much as it was something as much as I was able to get them even on SSF, because I would normally get myself a few on day 1 and 2 before other people really got to do it. I always thought it was weird. I was a month into the league and there are only 30 of these in the game. How dumb is that? What?
It didn't really work in the larger scheme of PoE. PoE's grown so much. When it first came out, it was like kind of okay, but
Was
every league
it?
the game's yeah. Well, think about it, right? The player bases have grown a lot, and these jewels have eventually become meta. Just eventually, like over the course of the game's history, right? They've eventually become meta. And as this has happened, they've just become like, I mean, they some leagues they're worth like so much currency.
Yeah.
So it just kind of fell apart. I guess it didn't really work.
I don't know. I still think it was never really okay because even with 1,000 players or 10,000 players, the fact that there's 30 in the first month is insane to me.
Well, that makes them a really, really,
I
really good chase item. But
I guess you're
yeah.
right.
It's a
Also, Quinn69 said that he wants to kill Andariel before joining the podcast. Do you want to wait like 4 hours? We could do it a bit later.
bitch, bitch, bitch.
Oh, that was toxic. Yeah, no, but like everything. There's so many exciting things about just like the labyrinth, like the rewards now. They didn't even. That doesn't even show in this video. Do we need like the long video, the 47-minute video, for the rewards to show up?
I'm not sure. So it's just a buff, right? Like they didn't nerf it.
Oh, they didn't nerf it. It's just a.
Wow.
Oh, I think I found it. It's in the yeah. Okay, if you go to 33 minutes 29 seconds in the 47-minute video, you can see you get to choose. You can do the glove, the boot, and 3 different helmet enchants. That looks so nice. This is like everything I ever wanted for lab enchants, and this is so big for SSF too. It's just so nice. How do you think this is gonna work with Gift of the Goddess? Are we just gonna get 6 of these?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess.
I don't see why not, right?
Yeah.
I don't see why not, right? I mean, it's so rippy, you know. They're pretty rippy, those Uber
Yeah,
labs.
yeah. I mean, they're like deceptively rippy. I mean, especially the trash mobs are so insane.
Where was it again? The lab.
33 minutes and 29 seconds.
Beautiful.
It just looks amazing. It's so good.
I see. So that's how they did it. So you've got 1 glove, 1 boot, because
Yeah.
obviously that's balanced, and then the 3 for the helmet chant.
Yeah.
That's very spicy. Very spicy. Man, Lab's gonna be interesting next league, dude.
It's
Holy
so
shit.
good. I mean, you can realistically, even on SSF now, farm for enchants.
Well, it's 3 times easier. So honestly, it's still pretty, it's still pretty crazy. But 3 times easier that's insane, right? I mean, shit.
Right, but the thing is, like, you're not necessarily farming for 1 enchant, right? So it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, it's always gonna be hard to get 1 enchant, but trying to get 1, like, there are some characters I've had where I could have gone with like 11 enchants or 12 enchants.
Yeah. Well, that's typically how you do it in SSF, right? You settle. So
Yeah.
it's 3 times easier over that.
And it's
basically.
even better than 3 times easier because not only do you get to see them before even choosing the base. You don't like put it on the helmet.
Oh shit!
Like this is
Is that
before the
actually-
helmet's even in. This is just you look at the altar.
Well, okay, I missed that part.
Yeah.
Holy shit! So you can get like Endergun with Berserk and shit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So if you see that in your lab you have Berserk, you can put it on an Endergon.
Okay. Okay. Now that I think about it, it's good for hardcore trade too, because hardcore trade and SSF are pretty similar. So you might be able to finally buy a helmet chance on hardcore trade.
Yeah. There's so much, and like like Vash pointed out, you can get 2 specific ensign on blind helmets now. So you could have like volatile dead and volatile dead damage. Or volatile dead damage and reservation.
My brain's not working right now.
You can have 2 enchants on the blight helmet.
Oh, right, the cow. Right.
Yeah. So it's pretty big.
No, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's actually huge.
It's
Like,
so nice.
honestly, helmet chants for me are like one of those things that don't. Because unfortunately, we play hardcore, and there's just these things just don't really exist. Like when
Yeah.
they happen, it's like a happy little, it's a happy little accident, right?
Yeah, I
There's
mean, when I hit Power Siphon Enchant for main stacker, I was like, oh my god, did that really happen?
yeah.
And same with like Berserk, right? Like it's just so insane. It's crazy. I don't think there's much else to talk about with between that and the gem.
Yeah, and the drama, right? I mean, holy shit.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. Let's see. Oh, actually, something I really badly want to do. Let's go to 3446 and look at the new essences, because now we can look at them while they're paused.
Right, there was actually so many moments during this reveal.
I wanted to pause, yeah.
I wanted to pause.
Oh, actually,
Um,
Gelato brought up a good point about the lab, the trials, being able to put in an offering to get a trial, so good. We can get Uber Lab so easily done in like 8 hours, 7 hours, maybe even less. That's pretty big. That's pretty huge.
wait. Say that again.
You can put in an offering of the goddess in the map device, and that opens up a trial. Like the sacrifice fragments open up a side area. It doesn't open up Uber Lab. It opens up a trial.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you probably thought it was Uber Lab.
I did because I'm an idiot.
The trial.
Ah.
I first thought it was Uber Lab too until I saw chat reaction. I was like, holy shit, they're right. They said trial.
Okay, well, I mean, everybody knows I'm an idiot. It's fine. It's fine. It's expected.
Let's like even just off the bat, like Essence of Hysteria is guaranteed now. That's insane. And Fireburst builds were already strong. Like there's huh.
What do you mean Essence of Hysteria is guaranteed?
So if you look at Essence of Hysteria in game right now, it is a 10% chance to cast Fireburst on here, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
such a
10% chance for level
massive
20
giga buff.
Fireburst. So this is literally 10 times better.
Right.
And it was
So,
already
yeah.
busted before, so this could be completely bonkers.
Yeah, so I need to bring up the original essences here.
Yeah.
So we can actually compare.
Vouch said we don't ever gonna adjust the cooldown, and that's true. Yeah, I have Hysteria open now. Let's look through and see if there's any changes. I'm surprised that they haven't buffed the boots. Like the gloves, they're already good. That's fine. Body armor. Body armor has gotten 15% additional increased area of effect. Oh, helmet is now 30% more damage while on low life. Wow. 30% more while on
Wait,
low
they're
life.
really pushing the low life thing. So that is that
Yeah.
a whole archetype that they're pushing with the gems as well, right?
Seems like it. It seems like it. Shield is just 20 more flat damage if you're blocked recently. That's kind of weird, champ. Quiver is 5% additional, more extra fire damage. That's pretty good.
That's solid, not bad.
Yeah. 4% more damage. Amulet.
Oh, like Giga increased the leech. Is it the same
Oh.
wording?
Increased recovery per second from life leech.
It's
Yeah.
a different wording actually.
Wait, increased total. Increased recovery.
I don't know if that matters.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know. We'd need Noogie in here in like an hour. Noogie plus 1 hour of time. The leech just so complicated in PoE. Ring is not changed and it shouldn't be. Like ring's already busted and
Yeah,
amulet
it's
or
Vaal.
belt. I
That
mean,
makes sense. Yeah, that
belt
makes sense.
belt as well is fine. So that's fine. Hysteria just looks all around really, really cool. Now I'm very surprised about boots though. Why wasn't that changed? Like that's kind of garbo. It was fun when you could use it at low level.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at Insanity next. Are the wolves changed, do you think? Maybe they like made the wolves strong? This is the same on the gem.
Yeah, who knows, right?
Boots 70% mana regen while socketed. Wow. Oh, well, shocked. Shocked. Apparently I'm dyslexic. Huh. Okay.
It almost seems like a nerf.
What's the current one? Movement speed while I'm burning? Nah, I wouldn't say it's a nerf because you can't normally get regen on. It might be really good for Chainbreaker if you can find a way to shock yourself easily. I don't know. That seems kind of well shocked.
I mean, I guess they're playing around with the self-inflicting ailment thing,
Yeah.
which I've never been a fan of, but it, you know.
Body armor onslaught when heat is not changed. I think that's kind of weird. Feels kind of left out. Helmet
Hamilton's the same.
It's the same, yeah. Shield is 15% additional chance. Quiver pierces 2 additional targets. That's decent.
Quiver's new.
Quiver is new. That's decent. I can see people using that. Amulet's the same, right?
Yeah.
Ring is the same? No, ring is 40% now instead of 10. Wow, it was 10 on the original one? That's so hot garbage. And belts the
That
same.
basically lets you guarantee the
Sybil Cement?
Well, I was gonna say the influenced mod, because you can roll reflect reduction on rings as well.
Oh yeah.
I remember I had to look into that for the gauntlet. So.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, Insanity probably. I don't know. I'm surprised the chest isn't different. I do love these essences. I think they're so cool to craft with. So I love when they're kind of strong. Essence of Horror. Weapon isn't changed. Seems kind of weird because this is not really ever used on weapon. Gloves is the same.
Yeah, Essence of Horror looks very much so the same. Like
boots. Body armor.
What's interesting actually is they didn't have to fortify on it. So, because I'm expecting it. Also, at some point, I'm expecting them to address fortify. At some point, I don't know if they actually care or not. Like, I don't know if they're aware or whatever. But
yeah,
fortify stacking is so big, so they haven't touched fortify on the horror essence. So,
I mean, the way defenses are right now, they should probably just unnerf Sibakwa. Because it's still not as strong as Fortify.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah. Makes me wonder, like, if they're touching it. They're probably not touching it based off that.
Yeah. Yeah, horror seems literally unchanged. I couldn't see a single thing that's different. Oh, Delirium is buffed on weapon. Decay is 200 more damage now.
It's something.
Yeah, it is more damage. Oh, I'm so tired. It's so late for me. Must be really late for you.
Yep. Yeah, it's 8 in the morning. I've been up for ages,
wow.
man.
Wow, that's crazy. Boy. Well, you're a trooper. I'm a boomer. Gloves are unchanged. Boots are unchanged. Reduced chaos damage over time on chest is unchanged. Helmet's unchanged. Oh.
People pointing out the amulet. You got dot multi on there now.
Shield is changed. It's 3% more now. That's pretty good actually. Guaranteeing max mana. I wonder if it stacks with the Shaper one. I guess not. Maybe? This is not influence.
You could probably check the mod group on like Craft of Exile.
Yeah,
but yeah.
be easy to check. And yeah, amulet is 10% damage over time multiplier. And any damage. That's pretty good. And the belt's unchanged. I actually use these quite a bit on belts. It's always really cool to hit like just life early league with this when you need chaos rest.
I'm a big fan of the Screaming Essences getting buffed as well, actually.
Yeah.
Being able to just reforge, that's huge.
Yeah.
A lot of people already thought it worked that way.
Yeah, every time I'm like scouring, they're like, you don't need to scour. It's like, you do. You definitely do. Essences were so good even after just last league. Like, just because you could craft so easily with the deafenings now, even on SSF. I have like, obviously I play a lot, but I had like 300 or 500 deafening essences.
Yeah, I mean, with Harvest removed, we're gonna go back to essence spamming, right? So.
That was good. You took me out.
Shit.
You took me
Critical
out.
hit,
Oh, that was good.
just like Harvest.
Oh, you're killing me.
All right. No, that's good though. I mean, obviously we don't know what they're doing with the nodes on the tree yet. You never know. Maybe they'll. I mean, I guess that begs the question. What do you think? So they mentioned that they're going to do a pass over the nodes on the tree. I wonder if Essence would be collateral damage. Because if you think about it, right, the nodes that would be farmed the most would be, because Essence would come up as one of them potentially, purely because it was next to the harvest nodes, right?
That
So,
too,
yeah.
and I actually took I mean, obviously, I was like leaning very heavily towards builds that really needed essences, but I actually took essence before harvest. But I mean, I needed like a million spites, but like the being able to just, I think the fact that they actually spawn as shriekings, it was so strong. It was
I
just,
actually did the same.
it
I
was
did the
so
same for
strong.
Gauntlet. Yeah, essences are great. Like that you can actually get some pretty legit gear early game, with essences
Yeah.
when you actually have a lot of them, which you do if you take the nodes early.
And like
So
fiveling
I did the
helmets
same
and
thing.
stuff, it's so good, and like for so many
Yeah.
things. Very, very happy with Essence. Okay, so about what's getting nerfed. I mean, Valdos is obviously getting dumpstered. I'm very surprised that was like put in the game to begin with. Not really for like sheer power, but honestly just from sheer performance. Like, because there's no way that whatever PC they were testing it on had a good time. Like, just frankly, like that's like the most surprising thing to me.
Yeah, I remember people posting screenshots, and I was like, how do I do this? And what shocked me the most is it's just you allocate the node on the passive tree in the atlas. Boom, you have like basically an entire map worth of like mobs
Yeah.
on the screen, which is ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, obviously that one's gonna get adjusted.
Yeah. Valdos is definitely getting adjusted. I would personally love to see complete removal of harvest from the passive trees and instead put it on the global tree. So that you're either like I don't I think I don't really
Oh,
like the idea of farming specific regions for harvest. I'd rather harvest be the same in Valdos, Proxima, Highwork, everywhere. I think it was, I don't know, it was at times where I basically felt punished for not running Hayward Hamlet. And I didn't really like that.
I
I
agree with that, but I think ideally harvest just isn't so dominating of a lead mechanic in the first place that happens, because that could that would be technically be true of any league mechanic if it was that overpowered, right?
sure. Sure.
So I don't know.
I agree. And then I think it was Havoc that told me this, but or like worded it like this the first time I heard it. But the best choice and what feels the best is a choice between different OPs. So you're not like this is clearly the best choice and you're fucking stupid if you decide everything else. It's like this is good for X and Y reason. And I honestly feel like quite a lot of the passive trees there are like, especially for SSF hardcore, there was some of that. Like there were some things that were like very obviously the best, but
Oh, I change regions a lot.
yeah,
I mean, obviously we did a lot of harvest farming, but no, I changed regions a fair bit.
yeah.
You know, there was the beast stuff, the incursion stuff, the beyond stuff, the I think I even did blight for a little bit, just for what do you call it? Oh, because I was hunting for boots. I was hunting for
Oh
stampede.
right. I skipped everything to do with Blight just by instantly swapping 10 clear oils over to golds. And I was like, done with Blight. See ya.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, no, wow. Just trying to think what else is, do you think they're gonna nerf Legion? Because that was very,
Oh
especially
yeah.
economy changing. It was very
Yeah, that
strong.
well, they purely mentioned that they were gonna look at it by seeing which ones were like taken the most. So
Right.
just just based off that wording, like that logic, the what do you call it? New Vestia Legion stuff that's gonna get nerfed, I
Yeah.
imagine.
I think the only thing I didn't like about the New Vestir Legion stuff it was so strong that I literally would never open Legion anywhere else. I was like, these obviously that's a little bit extra because I'm on hardcore, but I was like, I have 7 glorious vanities, and can literally like open 1 Legion in New Vistיר, or it would be the same as opening like 20 Legions somewhere else. So I literally never opened it outside of New Vistיר. People would always ask me like, why are you skipping Legion? I was like, just not fucking worth it compared to Vistיר.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show you how overtuned they were, I guess, the passives.
Yeah. No, for
That
sure.
they could make a league mechanic like Legion feel unrewarding outside of the passive, outside of the region.
Yeah. No, it was it sure was something. It sure was something. Is there
Yeah, people
anything-
saying that's the point. I mean, kind of, but like ideally, you shouldn't feel compelled to skip it because it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Because it basically deletes the mechanic if it's like I'm trying to explain this better, I guess, but because it's 20 times better. I mean, that's just a random number. Because it's like 20 times better to farm Legion in that region, it doesn't exist outside of that region, effectively.
Yeah.
Which will be fixed if it's just a little bit, if the gap is just a little bit less.
Yeah. I hate using Harvest as an example, but if you found a Harvest outside of Hayward Hamlet, you would still feel like it was worth doing it. It's just that juicy in Hayward Hamlet because you got way more Augs and stuff.
Yeah.
And speaking of new changes, we could go to 3518 and look at the new Abyss Scarabs. Abyss sounded like they were gonna make it pretty juicy. Like, there's actually let me see if I can find the unique jewels.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, what's interesting about Abyss is when it came out, it was dominating of a lead mechanic. Like
Yeah.
the jewels were like a huge deal, right?
yeah.
It sounds like they're trying to bring some of that power back, which is surprising. And they're not even taking it away. Like they mentioned that they're not going to nerf Stygians or anything like that.
Yeah, and if you go to 3529, Techrod's Gaze is not even limited to 1. It is not even limited to 1. So it's just straight up 50% crit multi per Murderous Eye. And you could use 5 of these. 5 of these would be how does that work? I mean, it would be 50 times 5, so 250% crit multi stacks with itself.
Yeah, no, it's my brain's not really working very well, but it's nutty. Looks like they're trying to bring Abyss stacking back.
Oh, but Ember's probably right. You probably can't stack it.
Oh, because the maximum is like global. Is that what you guys thinking?
Probably. I guess it's global, yeah.
Right, so it's not a local thing per jewel.
Right. Reading has never been my strong suit. That's still very strong though. 50 crit multi, 100% crit chance.
I got the Dugouts going off in the background. Oh my lord.
I don't hear it that much, or at least I don't through Discord.
I think they're discussing the league actually. Bork, they don't stack Bork. Okay.
Still very, very cool though. I like that they're, I don't know, that's a cool thing. Ullman's Gaze as well was 4% chance to be able to chain when colliding with terrain.
This is a weird one. I was like really like what does that even mean?
That if you shoot it into the ground, there's a max 20% chance that it'll, instead of ending at the ground, it'll ricochet off the ground like the Deadeye thing and chain into mobs instead. Sounds really good.
It's a bizarre mechanic to me.
I mean, it sounds really, really cool. It sounds like Deadeye and probably stacks with it.
Have you played it? Because I never got to try it.
I
so that's the
never
thing,
got
don't
to
know.
try it. I really wanted to.
Yeah, so I don't know how good that is.
Deadeye
Like, is this
50% maybe? I don't know.
It's nuts. Yeah, I mean, I never got to play around with the Deadeye because I only play like 3 builds, right? So I don't know
Right.
how good this actually is, but it's one of those things where I don't know if it's like projectiles return. You know how that's like kind of, it sounds interesting, but it's trash. I don't know if it's like that or if it's actually,
Hmm.
something exciting. Yeah.
I think it would be pretty cool. I mean, you saw a
Oh,
lot
no,
of
it
people in
sounds
software
cool,
using it at
but-
least on Deadeye.
Right, yeah.
I'm surprised they buffed Abyss Jewels again, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they just weren't getting as much use as GGG were hoping they would get.
Yeah.
I mean, they were very heavily nerfed. Like they
True.
were super heavily nerfed.
True. I remember I had like one tornado shot character where like the gear was like 20x and then I spent like 210x on jewels, something stupid like that, to get like 13, 14 searching eyes perfect. It's like, okay.
Yeah. That reminds me, actually, something I wanted to talk about was the the Vaal Reliquary key thing.
Very exciting.
So the thing that came to mind for me was Diri's Acuity. Does that mean we're gonna get like pre-nerfed Diri's Acuity in the game? Is that what that means?
Well, no, I don't think. I'm trying to go to the Reliquary. I don't even know where in the movie that is. I don't think this is legacy stuff at all. I think this is literally. I don't think they were saying
Right.
anything about legacy
foiled.
here. I think it's just foiled, and it is the current power. But the items from Aziri and Uber Aziri are being buffed, right? I would assume that means
Right.
favor is getting buffed. I would assume that means Acuity is getting buffed. But there's no legacy items as per se.
Right. So basically, the value of this key is going to depend on the buffs because I don't think there's that many good Vaal items, really,
Well,
at the
what
moment.
are Vaal items? We don't have a full list.
Anything related to Vaal, but you're right, we don't have a list because the example they used was
The
drop
Delve,
from the
yeah.
the
Cerberus
Delve
limb.
Architect. Yeah. Which I mean, if that is unbuffed, if it's just that item and it dropped for me, I'd be like, eh. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not a bad item, but it's not like, yeah.
Dorianus Machinarium. I don't know. I don't think it's legacy. If it is, then like imagine getting the gloves.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know what the gloves are, God, I remember. Oh God, I remember when they first came out. I remember thinking to myself, "This is such a powerful item," and the fact that it doesn't exist in hardcore makes me want to play softcore because nobody could farm the gloves on hardcore at the time, right? So these were such a powerful pair of gloves. They were like infinitely valuable. They were like, it's hard to explain how like powerful they were at the time. Absolutely bis, yeah, absolutely bis. So they gave you instant leech. So if you hit a mob and you leeched for like, I don't know, 10,000 life, you got it back instantly. Like it's yeah. Now that mechanic's completely gone. Like they completely got rid of the instant leech mechanic, as far as I'm aware. It's completely gone. But I think you can still get it still exists on standard as a legacy item, right? So if they were to introduce that item into the game, it would be worth like I don't even want to know how much.
So
Bloodseeker? True, yeah,
on
Bloodseeker exists.
on pathofexile.com/ultimatum, there are actually examples under Discover the Vaal Reliquary. And the example items is Aziri's Reflection, so the upgraded Aziri's Mirror. It just straight up drops. Doriana's Delusion, which is like the boots from Doriana's Machinarium, straight up drops. Probably random combo then. And then Surfy's Heart, which is the upgraded amulet from the Incursion Temple, which is really cool. It's kind of hard to get it working, but now Vaal skills are seeing a repurpose, so maybe it will be decent. And the text is, I'll read it. The Vaal Reliquary key can drop from anywhere in Path of Exile and opens a portal to the Vaal Reliquary. This ancient vault contains a chest with a special foil version of a Vaal-themed unique drop with equal weighting. Due to the power and level of items contained within, this is the rarest Reliquary key ever added to Path of Exile. So I'm 98% sure there's nothing legacy here.
Yeah. I guess because it's got things like reflection and it's. Is there any actual boss drops here? I guess the boots are a boss drop,
The
right?
boots are a boss drop, so Disfavor and they'll 100% drop.
Right.
I wonder, do you think they're gonna buff Disfavor?
Yeah. I mean, if they said they're gonna buff the drops, I mean, the axe was like so over nerfed. It's not even funny.
Yeah, it's insane.
I don't know. They won't buff unique weapon. I mean, you'd want them to, wouldn't you? You'd want them to buff it.
Yeah, 100%. Huh. Yeah, no, it's some interesting stuff. I tried Zerfy's Heart. It's so hard to build around. I managed to do a Winter Orb character with it, and it was not worth the amount of effort it took to play it.
Yeah, it's just one of those skills. It's really, really hard to get going, and still have defense.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. How do you feel, actually? Speaking of defense, how do you feel about the risk it all mechanic? It does sound like they've tried to make it really, really hard to get, like, all of it. Like, they seem like they've particularly tried to aim that, like, 7, 8, and 9, 10 are hard, even for people like you and me that do know life the game. Do you think they'll be able to?
Yeah, I mean, there's they're usually pretty good at overtuning things. They're usually pretty good at that. So I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think they can. I 100% think it'll be overtuned and rip the shit out of me. I'm gonna have a really long rip playlist, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you know what was interesting actually? They said the rewards are better, like substantially better than
Many items.
ritual.
People
So
are linking me a clip, actually. Hold on, just load this up and then sorry, I broke you off there. Continue talking, just like pause it and we'll watch it at the same time. Carry on, sorry.
all right, so they mentioned that the rewards are substantially better because for me a major issue, or no, I don't know if you could call it an issue, but I guess a complaint I had was ritual was like kind of like it was lacking a little bit of consistent oomph.
Mhm.
You know, it just felt like a little bit of extra shit you could get in your map, I guess. So it was kind of nice. It's kind of nice to hear that if your character is beefy enough and you're willing to, you're willing to. I mean, I assume it's going to be super, 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 super rippy. You're actually going to get some substantially better rewards. I don't know what that means. Like, what does substantially better rewards mean? But
Yeah, I'm really, really curious. And it seemed like a bunch of other stuff than the reward drop too. It seemed like it was like the reward and then like 10, 15 other things.
yeah, I mean, well, it looks like if you want to juice it up all the way to 10, it's going to take a little bit of time. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to see it drops a little loot explosion at the end.
Yep. All right, you ready to watch
Similar
this clip?
no, because of the way Discord's set up. Hey,
Oh,
wait.
pain champ.
Okay. I am ready. I'm
All
ready.
right, 1, 2, 3.
Many items was through the new league mechanic.
Yeah, we've moved a lot of the very best rewards from leagues that have league specific rewards to back to those leagues. Things that where you could just get the very best oils from anything, made it kind of feel cheap. So they're back where they belong, really.
Oh.
So this league will have a similar reward pool of there'll be oils in it, there'll be catalysts. They just won't be the rarest oils and the new catalysts.
Okay.
That's so good.
One very specific question that I had, but
Which
it
basically means like that's something I've been
Right.
asking for a long time. Like the best place to get something should always be the mechanic itself. You should never like completely skip. I don't like blight, but you should never like completely skip blight because you can get shit tons of gold oils from like harvest or delirium. Like if I want incursion gear, the best place to get incursion gear should be incursion. Like that's a very and if that's not the case, it probably shouldn't be in the game, right? if incursion is no longer the best place to get incursion, it should either be fixed or not be in the game. Either is not necessarily the wrong choice. It's okay to remove bloat from the game too.
God, I have so many questions. So that's quite a substantial balance overhaul. Does this mean we're gonna have to do metamorph to get fertile catalyst essentially?
I hope so. It's very scary on hardcore, obviously. I mean, it depends. Like, do we
Well,
still have the change random catalyst to random catalyst?
Right. Well, I assume so, right? So my next question then is metamorph going to be dropping these catalysts like a lot, or
I hope
you know
so.
what I mean? Like, because yeah, at the moment, the best way to get catalysts, and those strategies involved in this was actually heist, right?
Yeah.
That was like the popular meta way to do it in the Gauntlet, at least. You would do is it demolition contracts? I believe that's the
Yeah,
one.
I think so.
One of those contracts. Anyway, does that mean it's like, are they? I guess my question is, are they buffing metamorph up to that level, or are they just taking it away from everything else, and then essentially reinstating their previous rarity? Because catalysts used, if you aren't aware, metamorph catalysts basically like they're super rare. Like getting fertile catalysts from metamorph is like it's painful.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's painful.
definitely the place I would go to would be like the delirium orbs with catalyst quality, or swapping with harvest, or heist.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious what they. That's the thing with PoE and the Des. What does rebalance mean, right? So I'm kind of I'm gonna pause champ on that,
Yeah.
because if it just means fertile catalysts are gonna drop once every day, like I don't know, we'll have to see.
So something I'm very, very curious about, the doubling. It doesn't seem like it's a chance that it doubles. It seems to be guaranteed that it doubles as long as you're up to the challenge.
Yeah, I mean that begs the question: are they balancing that through rarity or difficulty? And usually it's rarity. So
Yeah. Really
yeah.
wondering how hard this is gonna be. Like, are we gonna need you know, I'm hoping we'll see some like top 50 rips to this shit. Like, I really
Well,
think that's so
because
cool.
that's so opt in the challenge. Then yeah. I mean, it would be cool to see a super rippy league mechanic because it's so opt-in.
Yeah, I'm just
Like,
how rippy. Like, for example, right, doubling 5 exalts or doubling a mirror. How rippy do you think it's gonna be? Because do you think they're gonna make something like this rippier than the feared? I
well,
don't.
nah, probably not.
Yeah.
See, it's pretty difficult and hardcore though. It's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
scary.
I would imagine like very, very few people could do it. I'm just saying, like, if you're currently a player that thinks the feared is easy, this is probably not gonna be an issue for you still. But maybe.
I mean, if these things are rippier than the feared, then holy shit, dude. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean they could do a lot of stuff. Like, it's a fairly hard fight already, so it's just I would assume that they're like quite a bit easier than the feared. I don't think that they would add anything as a league mechanic that's harder than the feared. And like obviously there are people that on
Yeah.
softcore that can cheese it with a lot of damage and stuff, but on hardcore, especially like where you actually have to have a proper tank, it is a very, very hard fight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what they could do, and I don't see them doing this, is they could just make it very don't stand in the fire kind of mechanic, because that could be pretty difficult. Because you noticed obviously they've got like an arena, right, that you have to fight in. Well, here's a good example, right? Here's a good example. You can shrink the arena. That's one of the options you can make, right, for the difficulty of the encounter.
Sure.
If you shrink the arena small enough, maybe it's just like impossible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because that could be harder than the Fiat, because think about how rippy the game is if you stand still, right? So,
Yeah, movement is
May-
insanely tanky.
it could also be the case of like, it could be like rolling a map. I guess that's a way of looking at it, right? It's like rolling a map. So if you're putting on like minus max, can't, no regen, etc., 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 maybe it is actually totally possible for it to be way worse than the Fiat just because you like bricked it essentially. So
Yeah. That's true. That's pretty true. I honestly, I feel like there's so much, even though like there's just so many small changes. It's so like there's so much to go over. It's so cool. I love it. It's I was very like just overwhelmed.
Dude, that was funny when the harvest stuff came up and they just glanced over it. That was funny.
That was funny. That was so good. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. What do you think about the uniques they showed? The helmet and the shield.
Right. Well, the shield we don't really. I mean, we know most of the puzzle, but not the final piece of the puzzle. Because obviously, I wonder if I can see it on this thing. Actually, probably. Yeah, here we go. So, obviously, when it comes to the shield, we can't really know how good it is until we know what everlasting sacrifice is.
So it's okay. Hold on, I'm trying to think of all the downsides. Corrupted soul is.
Well, we know how corrupted soul and immortal ambition work because we've both played Inquisitor.
Yeah, but it's
So
also divine flesh. So everything is going through ES no matter what.
yeah, so having hybrid working is kind of a meme.
Yeah, so you have to do EB. You could do EB mom still, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Wait.
Can
what
you? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Okay. Life as extra ES 20%. Divine flesh is all damage goes through ES. I haven't tried. I don't know if it works. What the fuck is Eternal Youth again? It's the fucking mana as life regen? What's it?
Eternally is weird.
Eternal
Hang
Youth?
on.
I don't think I've used it.
It's less regen, less recovery, energy shield recharge instead applies to life. So instead of having energy shield recharge, you have life recharge.
ES recharge instead applies to life. Okay, this is a fucking university thesis item, bro. We don't know what everlasting sacrifice is. And then immortal ambition is
The leech cannot be stopped at full life, right?
yes. Oh right.
Yeah.
Slayer overleach.
And then Vaal Pact is no regen.
Regen. So you have no regen.
Well, that's
no
not
life
that doesn't.
regen.
Yeah, that doesn't screw any of these other things over.
No. Well, you need to do something with your ES, right? Because you can't tank with it. So many people are saying it's 6 random keystones. It's already confirmed. It is not 6 random keystones.
Yeah, they
This is
want it
fixed.
to be a specific like puzzle, basically. But yeah, I mean, we won't know how it works until we find out the last keystone, I think.
Here, hold on. Divine Flesh. Does Divine Flesh work if it's being used as mom and not being taken from life? All damage taken bypasses energy shield. So I think yes? Right?
Yeah, I have no idea.
There's never been a reason to try it before, so I genuinely don't know, but I'm 35% sure that EB mom would actually let you tank with it.
Someone will test it. I mean, what we could look at is the helm, because I mean, the shield is such a weird one.
Yeah, the helmet, but that one is really cool. It's reduced. Reduced fire rest, reduced cold, and reduced lightning. That doesn't mean you can't get 75% anymore. It just means you're gonna fucking need a lot. How much do you need? I'm bad at math.
Max res. It's like
No, no, because
95.
it's not affecting your max res.
Yeah, I'm saying like to counteract the increased.
Right. Do you only need 105? Don't you need 135? Or
Oh, you're talking about earlier week, right? Right. Oh, wait. I'm getting confused now. So is it not just like the opposite of increased? So is it not effectively just 95% res, like penalty essentially?
oh right.
Like a good way of looking at it is if it's like you lose 90 res, but you gain 60 chaos res, because being chaos res 0 is kind of okay. Like, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, zero's
So-
fine.
So it's basically like you're converting.
Do you think it overrides
res.
CI?
Yeah, probably brick CI. Yeah, that's probably bad.
Probably.
Probably bad.
What if it makes it 50? 50%. Yes, versus 0. You're immune to.
This just seems kind of like a scuffed, like a shitty Crown of the Inward Eye. Now that I look at it, actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm being mean, but Crown of the Inward Eye seems like the good version of this item.
Uh,
Because the res thing is just shuffling, like chaos res and reduce res. Like in my eyes, that's just shuffling. You can corrupt it into other stuff, by the way. Yeah, I don't know what that means yet. You can corrupt it into other stuff. Because they mentioned you can corrupt it and it turns into like another unique or something.
Well,
but-
okay, so we do already have a mechanic like that in the game. I cannot for the life of me remember the name. I remember that it's like
Yeah,
golden
no, the
and
helm.
shiny, and then it
Vol-
turns like
Vol's
blue and dark.
Protector,
Huh?
Vol's something.
PoE Vols. Is it Vols? No, it's not Vols Protector, is it?
Vol's something. It's
Vols Vision.
Vol's Vision. There you go.
Right, so there is already a mechanic like this. For those of you that don't know, if you Vaal Orb a Vol's Vision, it actually turns into a different unique, turns into Malachi's Vision. So that's there's another one as well, which is Tear of Purity into Blood of Corruption. That's the only two known uniques that like change, I believe. And now we have one more, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and people also mentioning the implicit. That's not a regular implicit, right?
No.
Yeah, so you get like a special juicy one.
Wait. Let's see. Oops. I wonder if you. Oh, but is there going to be no way of breaking these? Because if you can break them, if you can break 5 Valmask with nearby enemies are crushed, can you vendor it for a Valmask with crushed?
I'm gonna assume they're not gonna let you do that. I'm just
Probably
gonna assume
not.
they're not gonna. Like, I think it's supposed to be specific. That's probably supposed to be.
Or the other option, nearby enemies are crushed, is now a helmet Vaal implicit. Not just for this helmet, but in general.
Well, Zaki was saying it draws from its own pool, so maybe it is its own pool. I'm not sure. Like its own so it has like a list of its own implicits that it can have.
Right.
That you can corrupt it for.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, so basically the power of the item, the true power of the item in my eyes is going to be the implicit and then what it can turn into, which we don't know. The only thing we know about that is nearby enemies are crushed. That's it. So, which is not that I've never been a big fan of the fizz reduction, of the fizz reduction stat. So we'll have to see what the other ones are.
Yeah.
The example in the video had a different mod. Okay, hold the phone. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare to find though. This is gonna be a nightmare to
Yep.
find.
I think that was plus
Speed
gems or
limited.
something, right? The video showed +2 to level of socketed aura gems. It'll have its own pool and the regular implicits, right?
Right. So this, yeah, it had +2 level of socketed gems. Yeah. It's at 2830. So there you go.
+2 level of socketed gems. Apparently people are saying rip Explodey chest. There's
Wait, why is that?
there's a clip here. I can probably just link it in your chat actually if that's easier for you than Discord.
That is actually easier, yeah.
Okay, let me do that. There, did you get that?
Got it.
Alright.
Hey.
1 sec. I'm just loading the clip. Alright, I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah, ready.
1, 2, 3.
How do you feel about Explodey chest? Because I feel like Explodey chest is kind of just a thing that has existed, and yeah.
There is a sector in the upcoming Balance Manifesto to talk about what we're doing with that stuff. But I'll save it for the Balance Manifesto. So
That's fair.
That's a
How do you
nerf.
feel about Explodey chest?
That's definitely a nerf. Oof.
So I'm learning that I need to redefine the word balance.
oh, that's 100% a nerf. What do you think they're gonna do though? Like just nerfing the damage isn't gonna do anything, right? Even if it was 0.0.1% of the damage, we'd still use it.
I mean, maybe it's 0.00%, right?
It doesn't
Like
matter.
it doesn't do damage.
It doesn't matter if it doesn't do damage. We're using it for corpse
Well, that's
removal.
what I'm saying. Well, yeah, but that's still a big nerf if they just make it
Sure.
literally just remove corpses. That's all it does.
Still very strong though. I think the scariest thing they could do is prevent it from chaining off itself.
That would suck.
Yeah, yeah, it would.
Well, it wouldn't. Wait, I mean, it wouldn't chain if it didn't do damage. So, I mean, 2 birds, 1 stone, right?
Sure. But that's different. It's kind of different.
It is different.
Because if it doesn't chain off itself, it still leaves corpses. Whereas if with the one you're proposing with just not it doing damage, then it's still making everything explode that is dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's gonna be like mobs, you directly kill explode, it's gonna be scary. Like, I don't know. I really wouldn't mind that being an item balanced by rarity. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's
Well, it always was, but you know, I mean, see now, oh, man, I don't even know anymore. I mean, they said they're gonna do a balance manifesto, so I'm curious what it's.
They're gonna
Curious what they're gonna
rebalance
say.
everything. You're gonna rebalance everything. We are gonna get rebalanced, Steelmage.
Got enough gladiator?
Nerfed? No, not nerfed. Rebalanced. Hello?
True.
Not using the N word anymore here. No nerfing.
God damn.
That's it's been changed. It's all being called rebalance now. Oh. Yeah, no, they seemed very, very, very careful. I don't feel like they said nerf at all for anything. I don't think they used the entire word in the entire presentation.
I mean, it's probably very intentional.
Yeah, it
intentional.
seemed like it.
Yeah.
Chris said nerf. Oh, that was very funny though when Chris said be excited about it, about the Vaal changes.
So, I'm pretty sure Vaal Spectral Throw is still gonna be shit. I mean, they showed it
Yeah.
off. If it's still exactly the same skill, like, yeah, I don't see that being very.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I remember when it cost 0, so you could literally spam it,
Yeah.
and it was still bad.
Yeah. I'm actually
So,
kind of
yeah.
surprised that it's bad in PoE because Hammered In was so popular in D2. A lot of the PoE devs are big D2 fans. I mean, I always hated Hammered In, so I don't care, but I'm still a little bit surprised, right? Because that's such an iconic part of the genre. And when you already have it in the game, why not like make it an actual thing?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they somehow managed to do that. I don't know.
Maybe.
But they said, but yeah.
Well, it's not like we're gonna be able to like it can't be on specifically Vaal Spectral Sword, right? Because that's like you know, they don't probably want to go back to the days where we were chaining Vaal skills, like when we were all Vaal sparking and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there are some Vaal skills that do just need numeric value adjustments, like Vaal Fireball and Vaal Spark will probably be actually good with numeric adjustments. So
True.
I mean, they're not gonna buff Vaal DD, so I see when they said that they were gonna make Vaal skills recharge faster on bosses. That makes me think they're gonna nerf Vaal DD, because otherwise I'm playing Necromancer again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I wouldn't be that surprised if people play DD anymore. Oh, here's a good question I would like us to answer. Laundry's asking, you're both two Zoomers. Do you feel like the game should slow down more in PoE 2 or keep its current pace?
I mean, I'm always gonna zoom, so it's fine. Like, zooming is relative. So as long as you're faster than everybody else, you're zooming. So, you know, if the game's slower...
That's not necessarily true, though, is it?
No, it is relative. It is relative. I really believe that. Like, you can zoom in a slower game as long as you're faster than everybody else, you know? You're still zooming.
I don't know.
Which is why... See, this is why I feel like I'm slow, because Tai and I'm Exile exist. So this is why I feel like I'm slow personally. I'm not even zooming anymore. The true zoom is the true zoomers are faster than me now.
I
But no,
don't know.
I really,
So, okay, so here's why I disagree a little bit. So I was doing race practice again after, do you remember when they changed the HP of bosses and stuff, right? Like they increased like Merveil, Piety, everything, like during the campaign, every boss got like tankier and we did basically less damage. And I was doing race practice against Tai Killer, and I actually gave up. I got to Piety, and my damage was so low, and I rage quit because I was like, I fucked something up during my run. I'm gonna go watch Tai's video, and see what he's doing differently than me. And I was only actually like 2 minutes behind Tai, and he actually struggled just as much as I did on the boss. So I was actually not that much slower than Tai at the time, because we were both experimenting with practicing after the patch, but it still felt like garbage because I wasn't necessarily just comparing it to other players. I was also comparing it to, I've already played this game before. Like, you know, I already have experience with this game. So you're comparing it not just to other players. That'll come over time, but you're comparing it to how this game used to feel for you. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think that's important too.
So I consider that to be what Chris was talking about when he mentioned it's a shock,
Yeah.
right? But you adjust, honestly,
Yeah.
in my experience, you
Oh
adjust.
no, I agree. And to answer the question, do I think the game should be like slower or faster? I think no matter what you do in a game like this, it's gonna get faster and faster over time, right? There's very little like there's very few opportunities you have to like pull back on power and pull back on power creep. I feel like it's probably easier for players, myself included, to process any sort of pullback on a big change like PoE 2. I feel like it's easier for people to go in with the mentality like, okay, things might be a little bit harder, things might be a little bit slower now, and then you'll get used to it and it'll go faster again over time. But I mean, I would like to see a pullback on speed so we can go up the curve again. I think that's gonna happen no matter what. Because I mean, at some point, it's just gonna be like, pew! Like super speeds, right? Because you are still getting like right now, we're getting more and more power creep. So yeah, I would love to see a pullback.
Ah, dude. Alright, I gotta show you an emote real quick.
Okay,
I think you'll like it.
I have your chat open.
Oh, easy. Do you see it?
Oh my god. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh my god. That is the best emote on all of Twitch. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's great, dude.
Ah, I'm gonna show that to Chris. He's gonna love it.
He won't get it though. There's no way he's not gonna know what mod check is. There's no way.
We need that. We need that in my channel. That's amazing.
That's great though. That's good.
Ah, that's so good. That's actually glorious. Wow. If we go to 3252, it's the Aziri's rule staff. I'm very excited about the Aziri and Vaal Uber Aziri rebalance. I really hope this is a good item. I wonder what Queen's demand is. Did they say anything about that? I can't remember hearing anything specifics.
I believe they said it alternates between the two to make you feel like it's Ziri.
That sounds poggers.
So it sounds like it gives you Flame Blast and Storm Calls, and it alternates between the two. It sounds like a build. Like it sounds like it's supposed to be a build.
I mean, the thing is, the reason I want this to be so good, the reason I want this to be viable, is because damage cannot be reflected, and it looks like it's made for me. Like, that's just glorious. My main enemy, I'm immune to it. I don't have to read.
True.
It's like, perfect. And I feel like in Path of Exile, you do feel like a bit of a badass when you're running around with a large shaft in your hand.
I won't deny. I mean, there's a reason I like staff builds,
Nice.
and that might have something to do with it. You know, the
Salami.
fantasy of
Yeah.
big stand.
I feel it. I feel it. That is a Magi Hyper S. Is there anything else? I mean, they showed the garb.
Yeah, the garb's only a subtle buff, actually.
I mean, if you're using like Vaal Blight, for example, right? It's like the entire gem is getting the +1.
Wait, so
Like if you
am
have
I-
the 21 Vaal Blight, even the 20, like the normal Blight is going to be 22 as well. And
I just realized it's not socketed either, right?
no, it's all.
Yeah, it's pretty spicy.
Yeah, it's not
But yeah,
bad.
it's a subtle buff though. It's not like a, because I'm pretty sure now. I could be cooked, but it still looks like the same item. It's just the implicit, right?
I really would have just liked to see the removal of Vaal here. +1 level of all skill gems. The chest
That would have been.
The chest socket
I
is
do like the
already very
Vaal.
strong. There's so many strong chests. Completely justifiable. It's from Uber Aziri. So the lore is kind of getting in the way here.
Yeah, I mean, if they wanted to really go the Vaal route and make it some powerful chase unique, they could have maybe even doubled down, right? Made it +2 or something if they really
Sure.
wanted to do that. But yeah, I mean, it's a buff. I mean, I'll take it. I don't know if it's gonna make the chest like good, but I mean, there could be some even crazier, implicits. That I don't know if they said that that's the implicit or not, or if there's like multiple implicits.
And people are pointing out, yeah, you can get white ones of this to craft on as well.
That's actually not bad then.
Yeah.
That's actually not bad then.
And that drops up normal Aziri, right? The white base type?
Yeah.
Right. What else do we look at? There's so much.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on the PoE 2 stuff, but for me personally, the PoE 2 stuff is so far in the future still. So it's a little it's a bit, it's very exciting, but it's so far away that it's like it's like speculating about stuff that's literally years away, right? So,
Yeah.
but it does look very, very good. Very good. In fact, you know what? Something I was excited about, I caught myself being excited about, was just the gem system, because I've forgotten
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Because it's been like literally a year and a half or something.
The gem system
But
looked
yeah.
really good, and I really like the idea of the health bars. That looked really nice. I would love to see that sooner rather than later. What else? I don't know. There's the fights are kind of like clunky already. Like they've shown us some of the map bosses and stuff, right? Like the new maps we got this league in Ritual. Like a lot of those are PoE 2 based. Like the what's my favorite map called? Bramble Valley for one. What's the other one? Grave something?
Grave Trial.
Grave Trial. That's amazing. I love that map. It's just I always have such an enjoyable time. I triple favorite that map and run it repeatedly. And the thing is, like, that seems very much to be the theme of PoE 2 is like kind of bad layouts with clunky bosses. I don't know if I love that. Not unless like the rewards are specifically going to be better. Like I don't like the fact that fucking killing Bramble Valley or Grave Throw gives me literally the same reward as killing Hail Rake and Beach. I'm really not a big fan. I don't mind them both existing, but they should have very clear, distinct, different rewards.
I mean, they've shown that they're willing to buff bosses like that, but is it even enough? Because you know how like Katava gives ads now that drop maps and stuff and drop loot. Same with Basilica, and what's the better example? The Scorpion, Desert Spring.
Right.
But like even with these extra buffs, it's like, it's kind of painful to even do them, right?
I mean, I don't know. I think there is room for these things getting like their own reward. Maybe like, say for example that the Grave Troll boss had like an increased chance to draw for million rings, right? Or something. Like you already have cool things in the game. Even
Yeah.
just something that you can go to somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see the map system in PoE 2, because it's going to require like you're going to have this big contrast between old bosses like what do you call it, like Hillock, right, which is a literal map boss, the first boss you encounter in the entire game, and then obviously these complicated, intense like PoE 2
Sure.
encounters.
And that's entirely fine. I'm just saying the rewards should also be different based on difficulty.
Yeah. I mean,
That's all.
that's a problem they're gonna have to tackle.
Like, for example, right? Imagine you could give something really rewarding to those map bosses, like talismans, for instance.
Yeah. No, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see.
Okay, what do you think about Kane of Kulamak at 3842?
3842. Oh, the unveiled thing. Right. So my brain was just thinking, what does increased unveiled modifier magnitude mean? So I assume that just means like just 70% more of the things you unveil.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll if
it's
if you unveiled 100% increased fire damage, it would be 170.
Right. That actually seems really decent then, honestly. Like it's literally just like Paradoxica, right? But like,
well, I mean, the increased modifier magnitude is literally like the incursion belt.
yeah, right. So, I mean, just looking at like a very basic example of what that could mean, right? You've got like a huge spell damage roll, a huge cast speed roll, and then
they're all tier 1 now.
right, the Giga Juice because of the way the unveiling system works now.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it looks solid. I mean, it looks really, really good.
Paradoxica after the changes. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. And then with the new gloves, and you get the fucking Oh my god, the Awakener sword is super chase now. Oh, what's the Awakener sword? That's gonna be Giga chase now. You go
Savior?
the
Wait, why?
okay, so you do the 50% more damage. Yeah, Savior. You do 50% more damage with your offhand. You slap like a Giga overtuned Paradoxica in there. You have the Savior in your main hand. Now you have like just like easy 40 million damage.
Wait, you're talking about the Abyssals, right?
Huh?
Is that what you're talking about? The 50% more damage with your offhand?
No, then like the ritual glove. 25% less damage with your main hand, 50% more damage with your offhand. Well,
Isn't that
50%
increased?
increased. It's still
Oh, I was
really
gonna
nice.
say. Right.
It's huge.
Gotcha.
It's huge. And it's so good with that specific combo, like those three.
Right. I was just confused because you said more. I'm like, holy shit, what am I missing?
Okay, yeah, not more. I meant more increased. It's really nice. Like several people have been using it this league, and I've seen some like insane damage.
Yeah.
And the Paradoxica buff alone is like insane.
So I mean, speaking of the can of Kulamak, do you think people are going to do Katarina now? I mean, it depends what the tier 4 rewards are, right?
Yeah, it depends very heavily on that. I don't think they understand how big of a downside it is resetting the board.
No, I think they do. They just really want people to be doing it. Like they really they want that to be a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like if this doesn't work, they'll just buff it again, right? So they'll just keep buffing and buffing and buffing and buffing. Because it's like core. It's like a core fundamental part of the betrayal system that they want you to reset the board.
Yeah.
So
The Veiled Chaos Orb too looks really cool. Like, especially now that like the Veil thing, it doesn't take up a craft spot, right? You can still craft one after unveiling.
what?
It looked like
Wait,
I mean it went into the item. Can't you? Or did I misunderstand that? It looked like it became Did I misunderstand that? It looked like it went into the item. What time? We can look at it again.
yeah. I mean, I'm cook, so
Well, there's at one point they show it, and that's what it looked like to me. But I could be an idiot because it looked like veiled mods become non-crafted, so you can still craft after unveiling, and that looks really strong. Like it's not glowing anymore. But I don't know where in the video. Does any of our chats know where in the video it was? Because that's what I saw. But I maybe misunderstood things. There's so much to take in, so it's easy to misunderstand things. But does anyone know when they unveil? Yeah, we'll end soon so Steel can get some sleep. And me.
I look that tired.
No, it's just I think we're both
So
rolling.
it's 39.13.
39.
Oh, you're right. It totally looks like it's just on the item now.
So it goes to tier 1 and it's no longer veiled, right? So you can craft on top of that. You can craft
Yeah,
on top of
totally.
that. So it's super busted. The veil wait, he's right. Yeah, see, I'm not a washed up boomer. I pay attention. It
I
goes
did
to
not pay attention.
it goes to
Bitch.
tier 1 and becomes natural to the item. So this is super strong. So that means that you could unveil something like this. You could unveil Trigger on a really, really good item and still craft something good. For example.
Man, that means the Chaos Orb thing, the Veiled Chaos Orb thing is going to be pretty good, huh? It's basically an essence then, right?
Now, is it going to work with prefixes cannot be changed and suffixes cannot be changed?
If Chaos Orbs normally don't, I don't think they would.
They do.
Oh.
They normally do. It's just the risk that you can end up filling the item.
Right.
I have done that. I risked it. So yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
people are pointing at Ashlings now like Giga buffs, right?
Yeah.
It's basically a targeted Exalt. It's like its own little mini harvest, I guess. Well, because you unveil the slam. Wait, does that mean you can't remove it then?
Yes.
Right,
It
so it's
does.
literally like a target. It's like a targeted Exalt. That's pretty spicy, actually. That's pretty spicy.
It's so spicy. There's so much to this. And I don't think a lot of people even realized that
Well,
it's
I
not
didn't realize that.
and it's so good that it goes to tier 1. But it's even stronger than tier 1. It's its unveil only tier, if you look at it, because he unveiled physical damage and poison, and the physical damage
Right.
goes to merciless, but you still get the 25% chance to moisten inside the same roll. So that is up to 179 fist
It's
damage.
hybrid. So it just goes to 128.
No.
Because it was it had
Was
a
it?
hybrid roll.
Did it?
Yeah, it was a hybrid roll. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you're not wrong.
Right.
128% IPD with poison is actually a higher bracket
Yeah.
than you can currently get in the game. So because you can normally get 129 IPD, but not the hybrid poison mod. Because I think it's normally 10 something. It's a bit lower. So
Oh, but this is the pure roll though, right? This isn't hybrid. Hybrid's already on it, and this is the pure roll.
you're gonna break my brain.
But it is better than tier 1 crafted. So it's like tier 0 crafted. Like it is the pure roll. It's not competing with the hybrid roll.
No, it just adds on to the hybrid roll. Are we good?
Yeah? I'm just thinking.
So when I mean hybrid, I mean chance to poison on hit. Maybe that's the confusion.
Right. I was talking about the fist pure roll versus hybrid
Yeah,
fist. It's late.
You said merciless because there's no merciless on the axe. Just
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we're
yeah.
both on the same
I
page.
know that.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that now.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought there was
think we're
no
good.
fizz on it.
Right. Yeah. Right. I just wanted to clarify. It's not adding merciless
Yeah,
magically somehow.
That'd be really juicy. I really do wish. I think the only thing that I really still want, I want drop only mods. Proper drop only mods.
Yeah, they have that in Last Epoch actually.
It's so beautiful. It's like
Maybe that's
all.
something they'll do at some point in the future with
Yeah.
Loot 2.0.
But yeah, I think it's
That's like I guess it does already exist in PoE, like incursion mods and
sure,
stuff like that.
but I want more of it.
Yeah.
And more importantly, I would like something to be drop only from actual monsters, like normal monsters. Like just tier 0, like Mercy Ranical, you know? That can only be drop only.
Right. I mean, they could definitely consider doing something like that when they do the loot, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah,
Maybe
I mean,
that's a future league, Future league we just spoiled,
True, maybe. We never know. As long as DS Lily doesn't predict any future leagues and we don't get more door leagues, that would be great. That's why we got Heist.
Heist is great. I don't know what you're talking about. I loved opening doors. I loved it so much.
Loved it. I don't know. I think we can end here. Unless, is there anything else you really want to go over before we end the impromptu podcast? Yeah, that's a good name.
Impromptu podcast. Well, we could discuss what I'm gonna go eat before I go to bed.
Oh, what are you gonna go eat?
I don't know. All I know is I haven't eaten for like 12 hours or something.
I ate while watching. It was great. It was very tasty. Go eat KFC. That's a good idea.
Yeah. See, the problem in Aussie land, because you can actually order stuff at like 2 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that here. Shuts down at like 10 o'clock. So
move here finally.
Yeah, it would be nice, dude.
You should.
I just don't like change.
That's fair.
I like that PoE. So PoE, when PoE changes, it's not actually changing because it's expected that it's going to change. I like that. That's good. Expected change.
All right. Yeah. Let's end it here. Thank you for reacting with me, Steel. That was fun, and the podcast afterwards.
Dude, you react a lot better than me. My reaction is like,
I mean, I think it's so like it was so pog for me because so many of the things I've been specifically asking for in all my feedback or complaint videos the past 2 years got added or changed in this patch. So it was like I don't know, it was so exciting for me. It was very, very it's like you can go back and watch like all the last videos and like almost everything. So
yeah.
it was very hype. But yeah.
Well, but specifically like the Labyrinth thing. Like, let's be honest here. That is literally like a Reddit / I mean, that is like a very common suggestion,
Yeah.
right? So they've very clearly looked at the community. So basically, the takeaway is they're reading what you guys are posting on like, so on Reddit, on Twitch or whatever. They know. So if
MySpace?
they're not introducing something into the game, they just don't like it.
True.
They just they just disagree. You know. The absence of change is a statement, chat. If you think about it.
But yeah, and I think we'll end it there. And I think I speak on behalf of both of us when I say a big thank you to the number one most important person here, chat. You're beautiful. Thank you for watching both of us.
True. It's been a long ass stream for me.
Yeah, good job, dude. You killed it as always. As always.
Bitch.
It's seeping into your brain. All right. So, for those of you that don't know, that is Steelmage, my good friend Steelmage. Go follow him, sub, everything. Love him forever. He's great. And my name is Zizaran. What is that?
I'm patting your head.
Oh,
I guess it just looks like I'm waving really weird.
yeah, I was waving at the same time, so I was like, "Oh, we'll end it there. Bye, YouTube."
We just wave differently in Australia, mate. You know.
Good day, mate.
We wave down, you know, because we're upside down. It looks fine when we're, you know.
Oh, all right.
All right. Good night, dude. I'm
Good
gonna go to
night.
sleep.
I love you still. Bye.